It is a hot one here. Right now we have 26 Celsius. It is very hot indeed. Here we go again. Yes, we are back once more, live and direct. It is a very sticky place today where I am because I'm indoors. Yes, this is English Addict coming to you on a rather wonderful summer day. Live from the birthplace of the English language. You know where it is, I know where it is, we all know where it is, because after all, that is the reason why we are here. We are live from England.
Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat. Learn together and have fun.
Here we go again. We are back on a very hot day. It is so hot at the moment. I can't begin to tell you how hot it is, especially in the studio. I have all of my lovely warm lights keeping me toasty, almost too hot, if I was honest with you. Anyway, hi everybody. This is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy? I hope you are happy. Today it is Sunday. We are together again. We are back together. I am suffering slightly from my seasonal allergy. Of course, hay fever has returned as everything gets hot and sticky. The pollen also comes into the air as well. Lots and lots of pollen everywhere. So if I do sneeze today, please accept my apologies in advance. To do something in advance means you do it before it is needed or before it actually happens. So can I say, sorry if I sneeze during today's live stream in advance. We have a very busy one today. By the way, my name is Duncan, Mr. Duncan. Some people call me other things. Most of those words I can't say here on the live stream. And we have a busy one today. Lots of things to talk about. Do you ever exaggerate? We are looking at that particular word today. If you like insects, you are in the right place. I have some rather interesting things that I found here in the house and also around about this area concerning insects. So if you are into those little creepy crawlies, we often describe insects as creepy crawlies, especially things such as spiders. We often describe those particular things as creepy crawlies because they creep around and they crawl. So that is coming up. We also have, of course, the excitement is building up because this time next Sunday, I will not be here in the studio. This time next week, we will be in London with the London Rendezvous, English Addict. The rendezvous is taking place next Sunday. I am spending a few days in London next weekend, and we will be meeting up on the live chat. Not only that, but we will also be meeting up in person, face to face with some of our English addicts. That coming up next Sunday. I have to say, I am rather excited. So that is next week. You can join us in person. You can join us together in real life. Can you imagine what that must be like? And if you can't get there, don't worry, because you can also join on the live stream. Next Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time, it will be myself, also Steve will be with us, and lots of English addicts will be there as well in London. All I can say is I hope the weather will be nice. Not too hot, not too cold, not wet. I don't want rain next Sunday. If you don't mind, can we have lots and lots of sunshine? We already have a special guest who has arrived here in England. Can I say a big hello to Beatrice? And can I also say welcome? Welcome, Beatrice, to England. And yes, we will be meeting up next week with you on the live chat. So lots of things to look forward to. Next Sunday, we will be out and about. We will be in a completely different place. Something a little different happening. And of course, we will be helping to celebrate my 20 years on YouTube. I know what you're going to say, Mr. Duncan. It is impossible. There is no way you have been here on YouTube for 20 years. But this year, it is my 20th anniversary doing this for 20 years. Can you imagine? Now think of this. Today, you begin something new in your life. You start something today. And then you have to do that thing for the next 20 years. It is a big thing to undertake. To undertake is to do something. You carry out a certain task. Perhaps if you are burying a person or your loved animal, you might call the undertaker. The undertaker will take away the dead body and then they will arrange the funeral. And it is a common thing these days for people to have funerals for their pets. There are now pet cemeteries where people can go and visit their deceased animal, cat, dog, goldfish, perhaps. Maybe your goldfish has died and you want to have a nice little funeral. There will be people gathered around a little matchbox, because a lot of people will put their goldfish after it dies in a matchbox and then bury it. So perhaps that is happening in your country, but it does happen here. So if you undertake something, it means you do it. You start doing it. It is a process of doing something, taking care of a certain thing in a certain way, a particular thing. So a thing you undertake is a thing you start to do. So imagine doing something from this point in time until 2046. I have to say, I can't wait till next week. I am really looking forward to meeting up with you too. Well, today, it's lovely to meet you here on the live chat, but also next week, we could be meeting face to face. Goodness me. One of the first things that people always say when they meet me, they always say the same thing. Mr. Duncan, you are very tall. People are always surprised by how tall I am. So a lot of things to look at. We also had some dramatic moments around here. I am going to show you something completely unexpected. Something I did not imagine I would see during a walk we took last week. Some very dramatic things coming up today as well. We also might have some sheep as well at some point, and maybe even some baby sheep as well, otherwise known as lambs. We have the mystery object coming up, and oh my goodness, there are so many things coming up today. We also have Guess the Picture idiom. All of that coming up today on English Addict with myself, Mr. Duncan. A lot of things happening today. I hope you will stay with me. Don't go away.
Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat. Learn together and have fun.
We are having fun today. I hope you are having a good Sunday. Already we are coming towards the end of May. Don't forget, next Sunday, the 31st of May, we will be together in London with English Addict, live from the capital city of this country. Oh my goodness. Talking of the live chat, we have the live chat. Hello to the live chat. It's nice to have you here as well. It would not be English Addict without you joining me on the live chat. Beatrice. Beatrice, by the way, is standing on the same piece of land as I am. Welcome to England, and also congratulations on being first on today's live chat. Congratulations, Beatrice. You are first, and once again, welcome to this big mossy rock that we call the United Kingdom, or should I say more specifically, England. I hope you have a nice week, even though it's very hot. We are having some hot weather at the moment. I have to be honest with you. It is almost too hot. I'm not going to complain, because a few weeks ago I was complaining about the cold weather. So today I will try not to complain about the hot weather. However, in London, I think it's on Monday or Tuesday, in London it's going to be 34 Celsius on Tuesday in London. Today it's around about 26 Celsius here in Much Wenlock, which of course is the place in which I live. We also have Barry. Hello, Barry. It's nice to see you here today. Also, oh yes, of course. Now, sadly, you will not be with us next Sunday. However, we will be mentioning you many, many times. Of course, he is here today, the one, the only, Lewis Mendez is here today. Hello, Lewis. It is nice to see you back with us. We will be thinking about you next Sunday. I'm sure we will mention your name many, many times. But of course, we will be seeing you later in the year. More about that when the time arrives. Also, we have Vitas. Hello to you as well. Welcome back. Welcome back. You are in the same place where my watch was made. My watch was actually made in the same place where Vitas lives. Also, Veronica. Also, we have Bindu Yadav. Bindu Yadav. How are you today? I hope you are also okay. We also have Alessandro. Alessandro, hello to you. By the way, anyone can meet up next week with us. So if you are heading down to London, you will know exactly where we are when you see us. So just in case you are in London next Sunday from 2 p.m, you will see us on the live stream, but also you might find us in real life in London. But please, when you meet me, be nice, be gentle, because I am a very delicate flower. Olga, hello to Olga. Saturino is here as well. In fact, we have lots and lots of people joining us today. It is so nice to have your company. A very busy live chat. I have a lot of things to show you, a lot of things to talk about, and also many things concerning the English language. All of that coming later on. Someone said, Mr. Duncan, we love the sheep, we love the lambs. Can we see some baby sheep? Well, just for you, here they are. It does not take long for the lambs to grow. And as you can see, those lambs are now starting to look like full-grown sheep. English Addict is with you today. Hello, how is your Sunday? I will send you a nice big wave to say hi to you. I hope you are having a good Sunday where you are. We have the mystery object coming up soon. We have some interesting nature to show you as well. This morning I woke up early, very early, 4:15 this morning. I woke up in my bed and I could hear outside, I could hear the birds singing. The dawn chorus was happening right outside my window. So I went downstairs, I went into the garden with my mobile phone, and this is what I captured this morning. Oh, yes. This is the dawn chorus that happens during the summer months as the sun rises. We have the dawn chorus as all the birds welcome in the new day. So this particular thing was recorded this morning, 4:15. I got up this morning. Can you believe it? 4:15 this morning I was outside recording the dawn chorus. I couldn't resist. It is one of the most beautiful sounds that exists in nature. One of the most amazing things that occurs in nature. Not only the sight of the sunrise, but also the sounds of the birds welcoming in the new day. So that was the dawn chorus this morning. I have to say, I stayed up for around about 40 minutes recording that. And then I went into the house, I went back to bed, and I had a lovely sleep. So it did not disturb me too much. I spent a short time up this morning, but then afterwards I did go back to bed. You might describe it as the music of nature. Thank you, Beatrice, for that lovely comment. Alessandro is here with comments on the dawn chorus. Beautiful sunrise. It was magnificent. I knew this morning, I had a feeling that the dawn chorus would be exceptional, and I was right. So that is the reason why I wanted to show it to you as well. We have some unusual nature coming up in a little while, including this thing. I will show this very quickly on the screen, but we will be taking a closer look at this in a few minutes from now. Look at that. If you don't like insects, by the way, if you don't like creepy crawlies, then maybe you might have to close your eyes later on. So that coming up a little bit later on, I was coming into contact with some very interesting insects, interesting things all around me. Today we will look at our mystery object. We have that coming up in a few moments from now. Can I say hello to the live chat? Veronica. Hello, Veronica. It is nice to have your company here today. I am in my hot studio. It's so hot in here. And we do have a high temperature in England. It is around 26 Celsius at the moment, but apparently over the next couple of days it will be going over 30 degrees, which apparently, and I didn't realize this, but apparently it's very unusual to have plus 30 degrees in May. But I'm not going to complain. I promise I will not complain. I have my water here in the studio to keep me hydrated, and everything should be all right. Here we go then. Would you like to have a look at today's mystery object? This is the object that I'm going to show you today. It is coming up in a few moments from now, and we have something rather different to look at today. I hope this will be interesting. The mystery object is coming up right now. What is it going to be today? And I'm very pleased to hear that you enjoy this. I received many messages saying, Mr. Duncan, we love the mystery object very much. So here it is, today's mystery object. You can join in on the live chat. In fact, you are more than welcome. What is it? Now, when I first created this image this morning, I thought this might be very difficult. So if this is misleading you, I will explain everything about it in a few moments from now. But you are more than welcome to guess. If you want to give me your answer, your guess, what do you think the mystery object is, then you are more than welcome to do it on the live chat, because that is why we are here, to talk about English, to look at things, and hopefully enjoy ourselves. Because as I always say, learning should be fun. Always. It should always be fun. So I'm looking for some answers today. If you think you know what the mystery object is, please let us know on the live chat. It looks like something you would play sport with. Maybe some sort of object you would use to play sport. But is it? Is it something you use to play sport? Please let me know on the live chat. I will also remind you next Sunday, we are not in the studio next Sunday. Next Sunday, I will be somewhere in London, broadcasting live, myself, Mr. Steve, and quite a few English addicts will be joining in as well. So I hope you can make it for that. Alessandra, thank you very much for your answer. It is interesting how certain things can have different names. However, this particular thing is generally referred to by the same name. So this thing, it might look different in some places. It might even be used for different types of tasks. But the name is quite often the same. Hello to Masvax. Hello, Masvax. It's nice to have you here today. Have you caught my English lessons? I have been putting some short English lessons on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen those, check out my YouTube channel and I will reveal more and more of those lovely words and phrases of the English language. It would be lovely to have your company and your likes as well. If you want to give me a lovely thumbs up, you are more than welcome to do so. So we have quite a few answers coming through. Today's mystery object, in fact, it can look like many different things, but this particular thing is often used for carrying out a certain task. The answer is, are you ready? Bing! It is a grater, something that is used in a certain way for a certain task, a particular task. Quite often in the kitchen, when you are preparing food, certain types of food, you will use this particular thing. It is called a grater. This is used for grating hard food, to grate something. So the noun describes the object. To grate is the verb. Something that is used for cutting certain types of fruit, vegetable, and also sometimes nuts as well. A grater comes in many different shapes and designs. So as you look around your kitchen, maybe you have something similar to one of these things in your kitchen. Perhaps it is a simple object or a simple device. Nowadays, of course, you can get some very fancy tools for your kitchen. Something that will do that particular job automatically. Very nice. So traditional items that do this particular job often look like this, and they can be made of many different types of material as well. They are often used for grating. They grate hard food, such as cheese, carrots, and quite often lemons as well. So if you are making something sweet or tangy, quite often you will put the peel, the outside of a lemon. So quite often you will use one of these to grate the outside of the lemon to add a little bit of zest to your food. We often describe lemons as zesty. They have a lot of zest. Some people don't like lemons because they find them bitter and sour. And of course, it can be used for grating cheese. If you are using cheese in a certain recipe, or perhaps you want to put some cheese on the top of a pizza, you will often grate the cheese. You grate the cheese. Carrots can also be grated if you are having a cold meal, such as a salad. Salad is cold. Quite often you will grate the carrot so you can spread the carrot across or over your salad. In fact, today is a pretty good day. I think today is a very good day for actually having salad. Instead of having a hot meal, some people might prefer to have a cold meal. So perhaps you will be using one of these today. If you are going to have some cold food, maybe you will be grating some cheese, or maybe you might grate some carrots. If you are making something with a little bit of zest, you might grate the peel on a lemon. So you can see the result. This is what this thing does. It will give you lots and lots of small pieces of that particular thing. They grate hard food such as cheese, carrots, and lemons. But you can use this for all sorts of things, for making something easy to handle. Nuts. Some people like to grate nutmeg and put it in their food. So you can use this particular thing for many, many purposes. The meaning of the word, of course, to grate is to reduce to small particles or pieces by rubbing against a rough or sharp surface. So as you grate something, small pieces will fall from underneath. It is a very useful tool. Simple, but useful. The grater is the noun. It is the object. So that is the thing you use. And grate is the verb. You grate cheese. You grate carrots. In fact, you can grate anything that is hard to chop. Interesting. An interesting thing about the word grate is it can also describe annoyance or irritation caused by sound, maybe a certain type of sound that is unbearable, something that is annoying. We can say that it will grate you, a grating sound. Perhaps a person dragging their fingernails down a blackboard. That particular sound can be very grating. Perhaps the person is not very good at singing. Perhaps they like singing songs outside your local shop. Maybe their singing voice is not very good. You might say, "Oh, that guy is outside the shop again, singing. His singing really does grate. It annoys me. The sound of it is terrible." So we can use the word grate in more than one way. G-R-A-T-E. Not to be confused with something that is good or something that is amazing. You might say that thing is great, which of course is spelt differently. It has a different spelling. So that was today's mystery object. I would imagine somewhere In your kitchen, somewhere there is one of those things, a cheese grater or an orange grater or a carrot grater. In fact, something you can use for chopping or finely chopping anything that is difficult to cut. I hope you enjoyed that. Next Sunday, can I say again, next Sunday we are in London. We have the London Rendezvous taking place next week. We will be live in London, and I really hope you will be there as well. If you can't make it, don't worry, because you can watch us on the live stream. We will be there next Sunday. I hope you can join us. And the big thing, of course, is I hope the weather is good. I really do. I hope the weather will be nice next Sunday. We were out walking on Friday. We had a lovely walk last Friday, and we saw some very unusual things. Now, here is something that we saw, and I wasn't sure what it was at first. In fact, at first I thought it was a spider's web, because quite often a spider will build a web to catch flies. However, as we were walking along, we realized that this particular thing was not a spider's web. It was in fact something else. Now, I have to say, I've never seen one of these ever before, and that is the reason why I was so surprised to see it. This is in fact a nest that has been built by caterpillars, and inside the nest there are lots and lots of caterpillars living in there. A very unusual sight. I've never seen this before. In fact, I have to say, I didn't realize that caterpillars could build nests. And if you look closely, you can see them inside. You can actually see them inside the nest. So this particular type of caterpillar is one of many types of caterpillar called tent caterpillars. So they are often referred to as tent caterpillars, which means that they build a house or a tent for them to live inside. But I have to say, I have never, ever seen one of these before. And when I first walked by with Steve, I thought it was a spider's web. So imagine my surprise when I realized that it was actually a house for spiders to stay away from and caterpillars to live inside. So this thing was actually created. It was actually created by caterpillars. And I have to say, I have never seen anything like it in my life. Have you ever seen one of these on your countryside walks? Now, I will say one thing. Farmers hate caterpillars. They hate them because when they come out, they will eat all of the crops that the farmer has planted. So these are not actually popular insects. In fact, they are not very popular at all. And these particular caterpillars will eventually turn into moths. So these caterpillars will eventually turn into moths through the process of metamorphosis. Ooh, that's a nice word. Metamorphosis, to completely transform your form or shape from one thing into another. And caterpillars normally do that. They will go through a process called metamorphosis. Isn't that great? If you've never seen that before, well, guess what? You have now. That is one of the things I love about living round here. You never know exactly, you never know what you are going to see or find next. You never know. I found another insect in my house a couple of days ago. Would you like to see this whilst we are talking about nature? Look at this. So this is my new friend that I met last week, and it is a type of beetle. It is large, and when it flies by, it is also very noisy. This particular thing, well, it has more than one name. It can be called a maybug, but it is more commonly referred to as a cockchafer, believe it or not. And basically that name means large eater. And that's why we have terms such as cockroach. So cockroach is another type of large beetle. And this one, the maybug, is often referred to as a cockchafer because it eats wood. It gnaws, it eats into trees. So there is another interesting creature that I found living not outside my house, but actually in the house. I think it must have come in through the window. So what do you think? Do you like that? Or does it make you feel a little strange? I know some people don't like insects. Mr. Duncan, please stop showing us insects. I don't like them. Saturino says, Mr. Duncan, those caterpillars will eventually eat up all the leaves of your trees and plants. Yes, you are right. Caterpillars are often referred to as a pest. Something that is a pest is annoying. Oh, those insects in my garden, they are a pest. Something that is annoying. Quite often in nature, we will describe insects as pests. You are right. Fortunately, that particular caterpillar nest was not near my house. It was actually quite far away. So we discovered that on Friday when we were having a lovely walk. I have something dramatic to show you in a moment as well. A lot of things to show you on today's live chat. We have some dramatic events to share with you on the live chat as well. I will take a quick break, and I know a lot of people are waiting for the cows to arrive. Yes, the cows are on their way. boy now.
Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat. Learn together and have fun.
Next Sunday we are live from London, and already we have special guests arriving. Beatrice, how are you enjoying the weather? Because apparently it is, I think it's late autumn at the moment in Argentina. So I would imagine coming here and experiencing the very hot weather is probably a little bit of a shock. But I hope you are settling in, and I have to say we are really looking forward to meeting you. And of course we have the whole gang. When we talk about the gang, sometimes we think of the word gang as being negative, but quite often we will use the word gang to describe a group of people who are very familiar with each other, a group of people who are friends, the gang. So I am looking forward to meeting up with the English Addict gang next Sunday in London. And I will be there with Steve. Steve will be there, I will be there, and hopefully you will be there as well. Yes, I know she is already in London, and Irene was asking about that. Yes, Beatrice is first. Quite often Beatrice is first on the live chat, but also she is the first one in London waiting for us to arrive next week. We do have the mystery idioms coming up a little bit later on, but first of all, I thought it would be interesting to talk about a certain topic, a certain subject, something we often do, and I think this is something we do quite often. I'm sure in my life at some point I have also done this, to make something appear worse or more dramatic than it really is. We are looking at the word exaggeration. To exaggerate. Exaggeration. To make something feel or appear bigger, worse than it really is. So let's go through this very interesting topic, and you might say that this is a type of human study as well, because I think all people, everyone, at some point in their life will exaggerate a certain thing. So the word exaggeration, if you exaggerate something, we describe it as exaggeration. To make something seem more than it is. To exaggerate. The thing you are exaggerating is an exaggeration. To exaggerate that particular thing is an exaggeration. I will go deeper into that in a few moments. An overstatement of a thing or an achievement is a type of exaggeration. Perhaps you are making something seem better than it really is. Maybe a thing you did, maybe a skill that you have, maybe an event that took place, and you want to make it feel or sound more dramatic than it actually was. We will often use exaggeration. A small thing is exaggerated to seem larger than it actually is or was. You are talking about a certain thing, a subject, an event that occurred. You might exaggerate. You might make something appear worse than it really is. Perhaps you fall off your bike, or maybe you trip up in the street. But you don't really injure yourself very much. You knock your arm, or maybe you bump your head, but nothing too serious. So you don't break any bones, you don't have any serious injury, but you might decide to make it appear as if you have something serious. You might exaggerate your injuries. But why? Why would you do that? Why would a person exaggerate their injuries? Well, I suppose there's one big reason, and the reason is they want to get attention or sympathy from other people. So quite often we will exaggerate something because we want to get attention. We want to get sympathy. We are looking for sympathy. Please, please, please give me some care. Give me some attention. So perhaps something that isn't very serious that happened to you, you can actually make appear as if it was serious. You might exaggerate your injuries for sympathy or attention. Perhaps you caught a small fish, so maybe you go fishing. A lot of people still go fishing. I remember as a child, some of my friends and their fathers at the weekend would go fishing. Perhaps you caught a small fish, but you exaggerate the story to make it appear larger than it was. So your fish, or the fish that you caught, was very small, but your story makes the fish much larger. You exaggerate what happened. You exaggerate the size of the fish. And we often describe this type of story as a big fish story. So if anyone ever tells you a story about something that happened to them and you don't believe it, we can describe that particular story as a big fish story. It means that you are telling someone about a thing that happened, but you are possibly exaggerating what happened. You are making what happened seem more dramatic. So we will often describe any story or anything a person tells you about their own experience. If they exaggerate, you might describe it as a big fish story. You are actually saying something really dramatic happened when it didn't. You don't believe it. You might describe it as a fairy tale or fantasy. That didn't really happen. I think that is a big fish story. An event or occurrence might be exaggerated to seem more dramatic than it actually was. Something that you are talking about, a moment of time, an event, something that occurred, and you are trying to make it seem more than it really was. And I think this happens quite often in life. People do like to exaggerate. A problem might be exaggerated to seem more serious. As I said earlier, you might fall over and hurt yourself, but you try to make it seem worse than it really was because you want to get some sympathy. People do it quite often. You make a mountain out of a molehill to exaggerate a thing into something more serious. So we often use a very interesting phrase. You make a mountain out of a molehill. You take something small and you make it into something large. You exaggerate that thing. So this is a very good way of expressing exaggeration. Something small is made to appear more than it really was or is. You make a mountain out of a molehill. So I think that's quite a good expression. To embellish a story to make it seem more dramatic is to exaggerate. Again, referring back to my big fish story. Anything that you add to a story to make it more exciting, we can describe it as embellishing. You embellish the truth. You embellish the story. You make it appear more exciting than it actually was. It does happen, and people do actually do it. To try and get praise or attention, a person might exaggerate their abilities. Oh, so I think this is a very common thing. I think it is common for people to exaggerate their abilities or their skills because we all like to think that we are the best. We all like to think that we are the best at our job, maybe a skill that we have, but we like to think we are the best. You might pretend to be better than you are. You might give yourself a higher status than you actually have. So it is common for people to pretend to be better than they are, or even pretend to be someone they are not, especially in these days when we have the internet. If you have the internet, quite often people will appear on the internet and they will try to make themselves appear better than they really are. And this does happen quite often. Sometimes you have to be careful when you see someone on the internet doing something, or maybe they appear to have lots of money, but perhaps in real life they don't. So exaggeration does occur quite often on the internet. To blow something out of proportion is to dramatize or exaggerate something that has occurred. In other words, you make something appear more dramatic than it actually was. A small incident is turned into a dramatic event. Quite often people will do that. They want to appear as if they were involved in something dramatic. A person might overstate the facts. To overstate something is to exaggerate. If you exaggerate something, we often say that you overstate the facts. Quite often when a person is giving information about a certain thing, maybe an event that took place, sometimes a person might overstate the facts to make it appear more dramatic, to make it appear more exciting than it really is. I think quite often the news. So whenever you watch the news, you listen to the news or read the newspapers, quite often the story will be overstated. Sometimes the thing will be written or talked about as if it is more dramatic than it really is. So we do know that the news, especially the news, they often like to make things appear more dramatic than they really are. They often exaggerate. They overstate the facts. Have you ever met anyone who exaggerates? Now, I have to say, maybe sometimes in the past, maybe sometime in my life, I have exaggerated things. But to be honest with you, if you want to keep your friends, if you want to be believed and trusted, it is best not to exaggerate things too often, or else people will stop trusting you. They won't believe you anymore. They will stop trusting what you say. So I think sometimes in life it is better not to exaggerate. It is a good idea not to overstate things, because you might eventually lose your friends.
Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat. Learn together and have fun.
The puddle dance, the famous puddle dance. Can you believe that I filmed that around, now it must be around 7 years ago. Is that possible? Is it really possible that I filmed my lovely little puddle dance, dancing around in the water, cleaning my boots? Can that really be 7 years ago? Well, I can't believe it. Let's put it that way. Now, as you know, I love food, I love eating, and there is one particular type of food that I have fallen in love with. And yes, before anyone says anything, it is sweet food. Take a look at this. So this is my latest obsession. This is a French delicacy. It is a type of sweet, something you often have as a dessert. Sometimes you have it with coffee. This is called a madeleine. And this is a type of French cake made with flour, eggs, a very light, a very soft sponge. But I have to say they are absolutely amazing. And we have found a wonderful place in Shrewsbury that actually does these. And that is one of them that you can see on the screen right now. So they normally serve one of these to us with lots of warm chocolate over the top. So quite often we will go for a cup of coffee and then afterwards we will have a madeleine. Absolutely delicious. Have you ever tried one of these? If you haven't, then I strongly suggest you do, because they are absolutely delicious. Of course, there might be some people who are not tolerant to gluten, so maybe it isn't a good idea. But I would imagine you can get gluten-free versions of madeleines. I'm sure you can. Goodness me, I've just noticed it's 3 already. 3, everyone. Today's live stream is going by fast, and just in case you don't know, we are live next week in London. We are going to be in London next week. So if you are wondering where I am next week, I certainly won't be standing here in the studio. I will be in London. Now, we were out having a walk last week and we discovered something rather dramatic that had taken place near our house. This is not an exaggeration. We were walking along the road when we suddenly found part of a car. So these were the things that we saw first of all. And we guessed that perhaps an accident had taken place. So we actually thought, oh, maybe there had been a car accident. And these were actually parts of the car involved. So this looks like the front part of a car, a large piece of plastic, because many cars these days, parts of them are made of plastic. But what happened next really did surprise us. We were not expecting to see this particular sight. So as we looked over the hedge, we looked over the hedge at the side of the road, and we saw this. A car, an actual vehicle that had been set on fire. A very unusual sight. Now, I suppose this could be an accident. It could be an accident, but to be honest with you, I have no idea how a motor car could end up over the other side of a hedge on its roof in flames. How? How does that happen? I mean, how? Really? So we think it may have been an accident, but we also think it may have been stolen. So we think this particular car may have been stolen and then set on fire. And this does happen quite often in towns and cities. Sometimes a car will be stolen. People will drive it around and have some fun. We often describe it as a joy ride. A person who goes for a joy ride is a person quite often who has stolen a car and they want to take it on the road and drive it very fast. But quite often after they have had their joy ride, they will set fire to the car. So this is what happens after a person has stolen the car. Quite often they will leave it somewhere, and sometimes they will set fire to the car so it can't be identified. A rather dramatic thing, I have to say. I didn't expect to see something quite so dramatic here in Much Wenlock, but there it was. What do you think happened? Because we don't know, and we didn't hear anything about it either, because it was a very dramatic thing, quite a dramatic event in such a small place. But I didn't hear anyone talking about it. I didn't see any information about what happened. So I can only assume that someone must have stolen the car. They took it for a ride, for fun. It might be fun for them, but it's not much fun for the person whose car it belongs to. And then quite often they will leave the car somewhere and quite often also set fire to it. Very dramatic. You don't expect things like that to happen in the countryside, but guess what? They do. We have something interesting coming up in a few moments from now. We have the game that everyone likes to play. A lot of people are asking, Mr. Duncan, when are we going to play the game? When are we going to play Guess the Picture Idiom? Well, guess what? That is coming up next. Something to get us in the summer mood, definitely. I hope you enjoyed that. Some lovely sights and sounds from a town that is quite close to where I live, called Shrewsbury. Some people describe it as a town. Some people believe it's a city, but it isn't a city. Shrewsbury, or Shrewsbury, is actually a town, a medieval town with lots of very interesting architecture, old buildings, some of them dating back hundreds and hundreds of years. Are you ready to play the game that everyone loves to play? We are going to play the game to get your brains heating up, to scratch your head, because here we go now with today's mystery picture idioms. Picture idioms. I'm going to show you some pictures and they relate or refer to a well-known idiom. All you have to do is tell me what they are. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Oh, I am looking forward to seeing you next week. Next Sunday, we are together in London. If you can join me in real life, yeah. Or, of course, if you can't get there, you can always watch on the internet. Why not? Here we go then. Here is today's first mystery idiom. It is the picture idiom. All you have to do is guess or tell me what the idiom is. The first one is on your screen right now. There it is. So there is today's first picture idiom, the mystery picture, and it is a well-known phrase in English, a well-known phrase, an expression we use in a certain situation. Maybe if you are working in a shop, perhaps you are the supervisor and you have to go away to take a break for a short time. Another person will come and take your place for a short period of time. And this particular idiom relates to that occurrence. The picture idiom today relates to something you do when another person can't do it. You take that person's place. We can also say that you fill in for that person as well. So this is an expression that can be used quite often. We do use it quite often if you are in a place where you take responsibility for something. You take responsibility for something for a short period of time, normally temporarily. Something you do for a short time, you do it temporarily whilst the other person is away. Very interesting. One or two of you are close, very near with the answer. So close. But what is it? What is the answer? I will give you two more of these today, so I hope we have chance to have two more of these. We will see how fast we go. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you also, Alessandro, as well. Yes, that's interesting, to take control of a situation, normally for a short time, normally temporarily for a short time. You will replace someone. I will give you the answer now, and I think we might have time for two more. So this is a common expression we use to show replacing or standing in for someone. for a short period of time, to take responsibility. The answer is... yes, congratulations. I think we had 3 correct answers there. Well done. It is, indeed, hold the fort. So you can see there a little fort. They are holding the fort. So this is an expression we often use in English. To take over from someone for a short time in their absence. To stand in temporarily for someone. So maybe if your manager is going for a break, maybe you will hold the fort. It means you will take over, you will take charge for a short period of time. You do it to cover that person whilst they are away. You take over from someone for a short time in their absence. You hold the fort. Of course, it does relate to battle. To hold the fort, of course, is to defend the place where you are. You are defending that place. To hold the fort. So this is an expression we often use in English when we want to describe taking over for someone for a short period of time. Here is another one. Now I think this might be hard, but who knows? Who knows? The next one might be the simplest one ever, or it might be the most difficult ever. Here it comes. Are you ready? Here is the second picture idiom. Interesting, Mr. Duncan. It is an intriguing picture, but it does relate, definitely. This does relate to a well-known expression that we often use in English when a person is boasting or talking about their ability or something they can do. Quite often we will use this expression to say you must prove what you say. You have to prove it some way. Someone must prove that they can do what they say they can do. You have to put yourself forward. Some people like to talk big. Have you ever heard of that expression? To have a person who talks big. Big talk. Big talk is when a person expresses their interest in doing something big or exciting, travelling the world, or investing their money in a company. But you have to prove it. You have to prove that particular thing. And this expression is a very good way of saying you must prove to us that you are willing to do it. Alessandra, is it eat the money? Could it be eat the money? Thank you, Vitas, and also Beatrice, for your lovely guesses as well. But what is it? This is something people often do in life. They will talk big. They will say, I can do this. I'm going to do this. I will do it. It is no problem. And a person might say, no, don't talk about it. You have to do it. You have to do this. But what is the answer? Oh, we have quite a few answers coming through. Some of them are correct as well. Here is the answer, just for you. Well done. Vitas, Beatrice. And I think, who else got it right? Who else got it right? Yes, you got it right. Well done. Put your money where your mouth is. A person who is saying that they will do something, they are saying, I am going to do that. Quite often involving a person's participation in a certain thing. Maybe you are going to invest some money in a company, or anything you are intending to do. A person might say, okay, put your money where your mouth is. To prove the truth of one's words by actions or other evidence, by demonstrating honesty and integrity. So it is an interesting phrase where we are saying, don't just say it, you have to do it. You have to prove that you are honest, you have integrity, you are an honest person. So don't just say it, you have to do it. Quite often we will say, put your money where your mouth is. Don't just talk about it, do it. Have you ever heard of that expression before? It is a common expression. Congratulations, Beatrice. You are right. Yes. Indeed, it is a good expression. We will have one more because next week we will not have the mystery idioms because we will be out and about in London next week. Looking forward to seeing you in London next Sunday. So here is one more mystery idiom. And I think this is an easy one, so we have an easy one to end today's live stream. Bing. Oh. Realization. You are looking for an answer, something you don't understand, but then suddenly that happens. A well-known expression in English. A person who suddenly understands what is happening around them. They suddenly see clearly. I almost gave you the answer then. So what is this expression? It is a common expression in English. It is very common when a person has a revelation. Suddenly you understand something clearly. Maybe a thing that used to be confusing. Suddenly you understand it. We can say this particular expression. A person who might suddenly feel that they are closer to a certain faith or religion might also use this expression as well. But this is a well-known expression that is often used in English when we suddenly understand a particular thing. Oh. Interesting, some very interesting guesses. Yes. I always say in these situations, just say what there is on the screen. Just describe the situation and you will have the answer. So I think this is a very easy one, but now I'm starting to think maybe it's not. I'm looking forward to getting all the complaints. Of course I get complaints. I get lots of lovely messages, but now and again I also get complaints as well. Interesting. Yes. Here is the answer, and then I'm going. Are you ready? The answer is see the light. A person will see the light. I didn't understand before, but now I have seen the light. If you see the light, it means you suddenly grasp or understand something. To clearly see or understand something, sudden clarity in one's thoughts or purpose. So quite often a person will see the light when they clearly understand a problem or perhaps their own purpose in life. A person who has a revelation, a moment of inspiration, a religious awakening. They see the light. But quite often we will use it when we are talking about understanding something. Suddenly, you suddenly understand a certain thing. You see the light. I hope today's live stream has helped you see the light and understand the English language a little bit more. I will be going in a moment, and as I said earlier, I am with you next week, but something slightly different next week because we are in London. Next Sunday, the live stream will be coming live from London. We will be there from 2 p.m. UK time. In fact, I am there all weekend next week. We will be meeting up with some of the English addicts. So I look forward to seeing you there if you can make it. If you can make it, then great. I look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much for your company today. I hope you've enjoyed today's live stream. I am back with you next week. I hope. Live from London. Where will we be? Now, one of the most amazing things about London is there are all sorts of places you can visit or go to or stand near. There are many landmarks in London. So I am looking forward to that next week. If you can make it, please feel free to come along and say hello. Hello, Mr. Duncan. I recognise you. And I will be there, Steve will be there, and lots of other people as well. I hope you can join us. Thank you very much for your company. I am going outside to enjoy some of this wonderful sunshine that we are having today. It is nice and warm at the moment. And I will see you all down in London next Sunday. Take care of yourselves until the next time we meet here. It might be in London. It might be back here in my studio. Take care of yourselves, and, of course, until the next time we meet, thank you, Life Beauty Bits. Thank you, Life Beauty Bits, for your lovely message. Thank you very much. Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Saturino. Thank you also, Only One. Hello, Only One. I like your name. Maurizio is here as well. Thank you very much for joining us today. I will see you next week. And of course, until the next time we meet, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. I can't wait to see you in London. If you can make it, please come along. And of course, ta-ta for now. See you down in the big smoke.
Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat. Learn together and have fun. time to say goodbye to Duncan and all the lovely words and phrases of the English language. Join with Mr. Duncan on the live chat.